All right, what is up, my friends out there in YouTube land? I am K double K, and I am here to speak to you about my top 10 intercontinental champions. Wait, there you go, all time. I start my list out. My list that is right here, right here. Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, Wade Barrett start out my top 10 at number 10, 9, and 8. So we're going to go over a little bit about each and just give you a couple of seconds, maybe a minute or two of my thoughts on them. Dolph Ziggler, his most recent run in 2018 was to me unimpressive because it seemed more about McIntyre than it did about Ziggler. Ziggler is a multi-time champion. I like I said, remember when he won the world championship? Drew, or not Drew, but Dolph is one of the most impressive in-ring competitors I've ever seen in my 30 plus years of watching WWF/E. Um, Dolph held the title 6 times for a total of 2,731 days. I don't understand how that's possible because I believe that's more years than Dolph's been. Maybe it was 273 days. I might have read that wrong, y'all. I'm sorry. People make mistakes. What can I say? But like I said, Dolph held it a total of 6 times. Once in two for the first time in 2010, 3 times in 2014, August, September, and December, and then also held it in 2016, and then again here in 2018 after beating Seth Rollins for it, and then dropping it back to Rollins. Um, Ziggler is by far one of the most impressive in-ring competitors I've ever seen and deserves to be higher up. If I was to do a list of just my top in-ring competitors, Dolph would probably be a lot higher on the list. But Dolph Intercontinental Champions, I rated him at number 10. Um, just for now, just because he's still got years of title winning ahead of him, and I believe that Dolph is more of a main eventer than he is a mid tier or intercontinental type champion. So I need to see Dolph win some WWE championships and World Heavyweight championships, but I know he doesn't make that call. So next up at number 9 on my list, we switch over to the one and only Shelton Benjamin. He held the title for the first time in 2004, last held it in May of 2006. Shelton was an amazing Intercontinental Champion. He was an amazing tag team champion. He had the title 3 times for a total of 384 days. He was supposed to be back with WWE this year, and I don't know what happened. I think he got injured or something, and he just never even made his debut at on the well, he never really made an impact. I should say they never really. If at one point he was wrestling with Gable, and now he's just kind of faded away. Who knows? But all I know is I believe he's still with WWE, but he was a great Intercontinental Champion. I remember most of his runs. He definitely impressed me. Once again, in ring skill, just like Dolph Ziggler, man deserved to be champion, deserved to eventually be WWE/F champion or World Heavyweight champion because he was just that damn good. So moving on down my list at number 8, I've got the one and only Bad News Barrett or Wade Barrett. Came out originally as the leader of the Nexus. I believe he feuded with CM Punk in 2011 for the Intercontinental title, but won it pretty much every year, at least once a year, throughout most of his WWE career. He's a 5-time champion. He won it in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, as you can see right there on my sidebar. He held it for a total of 397 days. He's a very impressive in-ring competitor. His finishing moves were, whoo, the one where he lifts him up and wait, I believe it's called Wastelands, and blah, yeah. Bad, and then the Bad News Bear character was so over. I don't understand why WWE eventually ended up letting him go, but that's the business of it. Sometimes you stay, sometimes you go. This time around, Barrett had to go, but Barrett all day, bro. You were one of the best competitors in ring, deserved Intercontinental Champion every time you won it. Felt you should have been more in the title picture more often. Had the size, had the look, had the charisma. Just never really got the big push. So next up on that list is another guy, but who did get the big push, and had one of the best Intercontinental ladder matches ever with Shawn Michaels, the one and only bad guy, Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon first held the title in '93. I believe 94 was when he won it at SummerSlam, and then he held the belt in '95 again in '95 twice, May and October. Razor Ramon was one of the baddest dudes on the planet as far as in-ring competitor when he was at his peak. And once again, this is my Intercontinental title list. People say, "Oh, well, Dolph's held it more, so he should be higher." Nah, this is my list. This is who I feel and where they belong. And Razor Ramon, number 7 Intercontinental Champion of all time, according to K Double. You can agree or disagree. Leave it in the comments. I will respond back. Um, and tell you this, man. Like, listen to me and Cole talk about it on FU Wrestling or Raw Impact Unleashed on Friday nights on Spreaker.com on 4Aces Presents. They right over here. Hold on. Let's see where they are. Where there, 4 Aces, right there in the corner. Got to get my bearings about me. Anyway, but yeah, so tune in and see the rest as well. But we got the final one. You can already see on my top five is Chris Jericho there. But number 6 was a man that he used to constantly tell us, even in his intro. You think you know me? Ah, my boy Edge comes in at number 6 on my Intercontinental Champions list. He's a 5-time champion. Only held it 171 days, which is like basically like barely a total of 6 months throughout all 5 championship reigns. And he held it once in '99, held it 3 times in 2001, and then held it for the last time in 2004. I believe he would probably be a 6 or 8 or 9-time champion by now, if not for a neck injury ending his career. But Edge is by far one of the top wrestlers. I believe he is already a WWE Hall of Famer. He is one of the top wrestlers ever out there, and I think that that makes him easily on this list. He could be number one. Once again, guys, this list is subjective. This is who I think and where they rank. And right now, Edge number 6, 5-time champion is where I put him. Love the guy to death. His as an in-ring competitor. I love the fact he got his runs. I believe he's like 8 or 9 or 10-time world champion. So, like Edge got his runs. Like he definitely got his due, which is why he's in the Hall of Fame. So, thank y'all for listening in this week. In a couple of weeks, I'll hit you with my 5 through 1. Like I said, listen in to us on FU Wrestling / Raw Impact Unleashed on Spreaker.com. 4Aces Presents Radio, and I'm K Double, and that's it. I'm out. Peace.